Roll.
John Bartlesmeyer,
Here.
Jim Hewens,
Here.
Dave Elliott,
Here.
Kirk Carter,
Here.
Brian Hill,
Here.
Robert Nelson.
Here. We can stand and meet the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. No comments tonight from the chair. I understand we have a comment from the public.
Good evening. My name is Ann Dare. Live just outside the city. Thank you for providing time during the meeting where those that elected you can come and speak. There are great things happening all over Bourbon County. The upward trajectory of the future of our county has begun, and Fscc has got to be a part of that. I believe we have better people in key positions, elected and non-elected, than we have had in a few years. Are they perfect? No. Have they always made great decisions? No. But I have also seen a more deliberate process take place when they make those decisions. You, trustees, are embarking on a most serious journey of determining who is the best person that can take this college to another level of integrity and prosperity for those students that choose to come to this campus. The president and vice president have both resigned and I don't have to remind you that the college is facing a $10 million lawsuit from the death of a young football player. The termination of the football program doesn't dismiss the missteps that were taken during this time. The next president will have to be someone that can navigate the continuing lawsuit, angst, and general hard feelings that occurred during that time. I implore that each of you take great care to carefully examine each applicant. There are currently 3 seats open up for re-election. Those that win those seats will play a vital role in the health and viability of the college, county, and most importantly, the young men and women that attend here. I understand that the current trustees will hire for these vacant positions, even though the potential is great that 3 of you may not be re-elected. It is my firm belief that an interim president, and not the current one, could serve until December, giving time for a new board to hire the best candidate. A candidate that understands the value of our county while undergirding proven programs and casting fiscally responsible vision. The board clerk and others have told me that there is usually some type of community involvement in the hiring process. Seeing as how the college is here because of tax dollars and the trustees are voted on by the people, I would urge you to make sure that there is community involvement and not just a few hand-chosen citizens. I've asked several people why there are only 6 positions on this board and no one seems to know. Who has the deciding vote in case of a tie? In my opinion, it is not a good idea for the deciding vote to be the president or legal counsel. Someone needs to look into this and change this policy. I cannot express enough the weightiness of the decision that is before you. And in order for the community to be confident that the college is on solid ground for the future, I urge you to give your full attention and consideration during this hiring process. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ann. Consent agenda. Approval of the agenda, approval of minutes of previous meetings. Attached are the minutes of the regular board meeting conducted on April 17, 2023. Approval of treasurer's report, bills and claims. Attached are the treasurer's report and the bills and claims report. Approval of personnel actions. Additions. Jolie Carswell, women's basketball assistant coach, effective May 1st, 2023. Nicholas Mora, men's basketball assistant coach, effective May 1st, 2023. Vincent Barron, men's basketball assistant coach, effective May 1st, 2023. Emily Somerville, women's basketball head coach, effective May 9th, 2023. Separations, Laura Meza, Iowa DOE MEP regional recruiter, effective April 12th, 2023. Mitchell McMullen, women's basketball head coach, effective April 27th, 2023. Alexander Chesney, music instructor, effective May 16, 2023. April Williams, flag football coach, effective May 31st, 2023. Tyler Long, men's basketball assistant coach, effective May 31st, 2023. Harry Johnson, instruction office assistant, effective May 31st, 2023. Vaughn Cox, Pittsburgh cosmetology instructor, effective June 30, 2023. Kelly Sims, Pittsburgh cosmetology instructor, effective June 30th, 2023. It is recommended that the consent agenda items be approved as presented. Is there any discussion?
I had a question on the budget. The shortfall on the dorms. Cause it looks like we're budgeted to have $1 million in revenue and we're at 868, which I mean, that's about 14%. Is that a timing thing or is that a?
No, that's basically,
Is that what you said?
that's a reduction in.
What page is that?
7. Yeah.
7, okay, thank you.
We haven't had the occupancy that we normally have, so yeah, there's
Okay.
just reduction of.
Well, the
revenue.
expenses are down too.
Yeah.
So.
They follow that,
And the same is true for the food service.
right, it runs pretty much off of
Mhm.
occupancy, so it's down as well.
Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
are there any more questions? I will entertain a motion. So moved. Second. Julie, would you call for the vote?
Elliott,
Yes.
Ewens,
Yes.
Art,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Bartlesmeyer,
Yes. Can anybody give me assistance on what? 65. 65, thank you, Dave.
Can I make one more quick comment?
Sure.
There was a line item in here for the Skills USA competition. And I think my nephew actually won the state.
Really?
If he's down at CTEC, I believe.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. So
Actually, just to expand on that, so Great Skills USA, the college is paying for, we will provide the buses and housing in Pittsburgh High School, which has also got students going, will pay for the gasoline and the food. So we're splitting it up, and CTEC itself is actually paying to build some of the. That's congratulations.
Yeah, excellent.
I had nothing to do with it, but
I'm real proud of it. You should be.
Jeff's son Landon.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Item A, approval of, approval of purchase of CTEC welders. Fort Scott Community College is in the process of adding additional welding space for at the CTEC location in Pittsburgh. Perkins funding will be used to cover the cost of this purchase. Publication has been made requesting proposals. Lincoln Invertech V276W TIG package and the Lincoln Power Made 256 welders. Proposals were received from Air Gas and Kirkland Welding. Administration recommends approving the proposal from Kirkland Welding for $42,600. I should say Air Gas was $47,213. Any discussion or questions?
I just want to make a comment. I'm glad to see Kirkland's real competitive because they also have a shop here in Fort Scott, which we purchased from, and also in Pittsburgh. So I kind of know those people. So that's great.
Any more discussion?
What are Perkins funds?
The Perkins is money, it's federal money that flows to the state and comes to us for eligible technical programs. The way that we qualify for Perkins money is the number of post-secondary students we have that qualify for FAST, that will qualify for Pell money. And so we get, I
Want to say
170
163 with this year, something like that.
from Perkins. And then we always apply for, so it didn't used to be this way, but the Fed sent so much to the state. The state has recently held out, I believe it's 10% into a fund that then you have to apply to get through a grant. This money was money that we apply. We apply every year for those extra funds. And so that's where these funds came from is. So we put in the proposal and asked for what they call, it's just a Perkins competitive grant process, but.
And it has to be used for something like this.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
We also
everything
purchase
has to fall.
computers that we.
Yeah, and we do.
That's kind of.
We do quite a bit with Perkins. We also right now Perkins, for instance, is paying 2/3 of one of our nursing faculty. That's on a 3-year thing. The first year they pay all of it, the second year 2/3, the third year 1/3, and then the fourth year we pick up the whole thing. So we do a lot with Perkins. As a matter of fact, you may remember that Darlene Wood, the assistant to the president, won the state Perkins Award, and we actually were asked by the state to, we do a consortium, so we do Pitt State Perkins because they don't have as much. And this year we also picked up Allen County Community College, so we're doing their Perkins this year and we get a little bit.
Is it true in the post-secondary world too, that the Perkins funds are really technical career ed?
It's,
Really?
yeah, it's only technical.
K-12, it's entirely that, you can't spend it on anything, but
Ours is the same way.
Okay.
But he's right, we purchased computers, but they're computers for John Deere or computers for Department.
Yeah.
It has to be eligible. It has to be eligible CTE programming. But it's originally federal funds.
Thank you.
not used, it goes right to the parents.
Pardon me?
And if it's not used.
Yeah. Yes. We spend a lot of time on, I say we, I don't personally, so. We have a lot of people that spend a lot of time on Perkins. Matter of fact, we're getting ready to turn in the new one and we had to move some money around because these welders were a little bit more money than thought. So some of the professional development money went over to equipment. And again, there's only so much to let you move here and there and that kind of thing. They get pretty pinky.
Any more discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
Move we approve.
Okay.
Moved in second.
Moved and second.
Julie, would you call for the vote, please?
Stevens,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Item B, consideration of installment purchase agreement resolution. Following is a resolution and installment purchase agreement addressing the purchase of property located at 902 South Horton from Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas. Administration recommends the approval of installment purchase agreement resolution to proceed with the purchase of 902 South Horton. Discussion.
This is just a continuation of what we've been going over before. But I think it might be good. To give the facts, the reason why we're doing this. The alternative is a 1.5 installation on campus. The alternative is we have to do something with the convent where we're nursing school is at now.
Burke Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to be the last. Comment,
Yeah.
but-
Well, that's what it used to be. I'm old school.
Well, it's a nurse's dorm, the board was a convent. Okay. Yes, basically.
Well, I think it really enhances our program and it makes it more sustainable. The building that we're in right now, we have some issues with both the Kansas Board of Nursing and ASIN, which is our national accredited body. You need to be nationally accredited, so students that graduate from our program with their ADN, which is the associate degree nursing. Many of those will want to bridge into a BSN, which of course is a bachelor's degree nursing. If we did not have accreditation, then they wouldn't be able to transfer those credits to the next level. So that can be, they could still get their license, and become an RN, that the second they wanted to go to BSN without accreditation, they wouldn't be able to transfer the credit. So that shows you why we need that national accreditation, even though there are some programs that run without it, but it's obviously not beneficial to the students and programs. Because, you know, in the end, a lot of students would want to go on and go. So we need that accreditation with ASIN. We told them when we got 10 years last time that we were looking at trying to do something about our facilities. And this is, of course, our answer. We have, as you probably remember, looked into several grants to try to build buildings. Brick and mortar grants in education are really hard to come by. The Sunderland Foundation does some. We've been unsuccessful in writing grants to them to get them to build us a building. The lease purchase from CHC makes sense with this. Along with this, we have some deals with CHC about scholarships for our students, as well as us being able to use a room down at CHC for a classroom and for their clinical instructors to help us on that side of it. So I believe it is a win-win for patient care and certainly for the education of our students. It works out to be what we will be paying on this 10-year lease purchase to be approximately what we would pay in terms of overhead and things like that at first.
Plus, we already have 500 and some thousand in the endowment.
We
Strictly
do,
for nursing.
because of the generosity of the Snyder family, it's that 500,000 has grown. Tom would know this better than I. It's over 6, I suppose. It varies.
It was 6 and we ended up putting it in the CD. To ensure to make a little bit of money, but not lose money when it was in the stock market, since we already got it.
We were getting a little worried knowing we were gonna get about sticking it in the stock market, so we pulled it out and stuck it in the CD. That money, I don't think, from what we have gotten so far, of course, I'm always overly optimistic, we wouldn't use it all towards remodeling. There's not a whole lot of remodeling that needs to be done there, but some, we're hoping that some will be left over to upgrades of the simulation equipment and some of the other things that we have. But that money has been earmarked all this time for the nursing program specifically.
VA is gonna stay on for a bit also.
I can't answer that for sure. The information I've been getting is that the VA is looking to eventually move to Chanute. When and how they will move, I don't mean how, but what sort of location, if they were going to build, then my understanding is that obviously would take a while. If they're, going to lease from lease a current facility over there, it would not take as long. My information says that it could be maybe up to 10 years, but whether that's true or not, I don't know. And so I can't factually tell you how long the VA will be there.
I can tell you they move slowly.
And it's a government agency, they're going to move pretty slowly.
Yeah. But
That's like us. I said it takes 3 weeks to blow our nose for higher education.
any more discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Julie, would you call for the vote?
Hart,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Bartlesmeyer,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Hewens,
Yes.
Item C, discussion of presidential hiring process. Board needs to finalize a plan for moving forward in the presidential hiring process. I think at this point, and please jump in if anybody has something to say, but I think we need to set some kind of a termination of when we will accept applications. And we need to determine how we are going to I don't know, weed them down. I don't know what the correct terminology would be, but to determine who really qualify best for the position. Or whether we have a committee, and the committee can only be two. Because we'd be meeting outside of a board meeting. Is this correct, Dave? And or it was discussed that maybe all of the board members would like to see all of the applications. What's your pleasure? How do you want to proceed?
Well, I think everybody needs to see it, but that'd be a special board meeting.
Well, if we,
Unless we do it electronically, and then we can email
Oh.
back to Julie. Here are the ones that I think are spectacular, and here are the ones that I'm not sure would be a great fit.
right,
And as long as we don't hit reply all, as long as we're communicating just with Julie, we could do it that way.
Oh, okay.
and thinking about it, Dave and I spoke about this a little bit. I'd rather see all of them because there's somebody I might say, oh, I think this person's excellent. And rather than have a committee necessarily weed them down to 10 or 5 or 6 or however many. I'd be more comfortable with that.
Yep, I do too.
Julie, how much longer do you think we ought to leave the thing posted? Is there anything in any policy language that says we have to leave it posted a certain amount of time or announce that it's gonna close?
There's not. I would be uncomfortable closing it, say, tomorrow, because I've had some conversations
Sure.
along the way with candidates who have said, when are you closing? And my response to them has been that you guys were meeting tonight and you would figure out what that looked like. I wouldn't want to close it before Friday, probably, just to give those folks an opportunity to look back in and.
How about Monday?
I was gonna say, what if we make the closing on it the following Monday?
A week.
Because there's a weekend there.
A week from today.
Is that comfortable for you?
Yeah,
You
For the end of May, I mean, we're right at the end of the month. What I prefer a week from today.
Is there a reason you want to wait till the end of the month? I mean, how many people do we have at this point?
the last time I counted, there were 30.
30?
I would rather not.
It seems like a lot.
And do you want to reevaluate your input for everybody who gets everything?
No,
I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
What you were gonna say, Dave?
No, I answered her question.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, okay,
Oh, no, I work in end of months or middle of the month, 15, you know. That's how I operate. I don't operate on
next
next
week.
Tuesday. Closes that, but I have no, I mean, we have a lot of candidates.
Yes, okay, that was my next comment was, okay, thinking about this, I'm gonna review 30 applicants in 7 days. And I don't want to miss somebody. Well, then you want to wait till the end of the month. I mean, I was just throwing that up.
No.
No? Oh, okay, all right.
Okay, week from today.
Do we need to vote on this or?
I think it can just be consensus.
Okay. Then, does that agree to, 22nd?
22nd.
Cut this off on the 22nd of May.
So then at that point, I will send all of you a file or links or IT to do, because there's a lot of volume there. So I'll send all of you all of the materials for every candidate, and then you want to respond to me with your top. I mean, how do you envision that going forward from there?
I don't think you should set a number like top 5, because
Right.
maybe somebody will have 7 or somebody will have, I just say your top picks.
And maybe ones that you think ought to be eliminated for some reason.
And one of the, you mean the one of the,
There may be applicants that you think,
Oh,
there
and-
is no way this, no, I would
Okay.
not vote for this person. We ought to include those on the list too, because we can pare it down that way.
okay, okay.
And then you better give us a deadline for that.
Right.
You
You better
pick it.
give me a deadline.
Not the next day.
More than 20 minutes would be helpful.
Maybe,
Couple of weeks, maybe.
well, I'd say, or at least before the next board meeting.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, let's see, so the 22nd. Yes, 2 weeks, you think that's reasonable? Give Julie time to get that to us, and then we get back, if we get all this information on the 22nd. You want to give 2 weeks?
23rd, yeah.
Or, yeah, 23rd.
We would get it to 23rd because they're still accepting applications. The 22nd.
Well, okay, right, we cut it off on the 22nd.
Yes. So I can probably be done in 2 weeks.
So that would be 2 weeks from the 20, you would get it on the 23rd, which is a Tuesday. 2 weeks after that is June 6th. The June board meeting is the 19th. How do you all envision that happening after you give me your top picks? I think I shared with you that last time we did reference checks on the top 6 or 7, and then you used the reference material to decide who you were bringing to campus. Is that the model you're going with? Do you envision it looking
Makes sense.
How would you get that information to us then, before the
Yes.
next board meeting? Is that?
Yes, and then you could use, apologize, I'm speaking on a turn, but you could use that board meeting then as an avenue to select your final. However many you guys can talk about it during executive session. Decide who you're bringing in for on-site visits.
So the next board meeting is June 19th. June
Yes,
19th
yes,
is the next.
yes,
one.
I'm sorry, June 19th.
Agreeable? Everyone?
So there was talk, and I don't know if I heard it from somebody here or somebody in the community, but the last time something that people seem to like was, the opportunity for faculty and staff to get to meet and greet, ask questions, but then also the broader community. I think Ann mentioned that in her comments, having like a community forum type.
I don't know about a community forum. The last time, I'm pretty sure we had not a meeting, but we picked the last 4 or the top 4 candidates. And we had them come speak to us, not just, I don't mean the board, I mean like the community. It was open up to anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, it's over there.
Yes, and I think that format worked really well.
Okay. Yeah.
And that also gave the community a chance to meet these people too, before.
So that they come one at a time from
They
the goal.
each-
Go ahead.
they each had their own day.
I got you.
Those dates were all published in the paper, on a Facebook page, whatever, and so anybody that wanted to come participate was able to do that.
Very good.
I can tell you kind of typically the way it would work would be you would bring a candidate in for the whole day. So one of the things they do is meet with faculty and staff who can ask questions. They meet with the board, obviously individually. Usually somebody gives a little bit of a tour, answers questions that the candidate would have, and then there is also a public forum. So the public can ask questions. I said it's a little bit like waterboarding for the candidate, but it's pretty effective. But it's a pretty, I can assure you, it's a pretty grueling day.
Oh, but for the board too. So does that sound okay? Now, do we have to convene a special board meeting at any point in that, or do we just make sure that no more than 2 board members were with the candidates?
Well, I
at that
think,
time?
I mean, when you meet, as long as you're not discussing any other business is what they would tell you. And and the public has been notified that this is a personnel issue, this is an interview, you're okay. But you can't discuss budget, you
Oh,
can't discuss
sure.
any other thing, but what you're discussing specifically is a candidate appropriate for this position. And so, yes, you can do that.
Okay,
It's a portion as a special board meeting.
Does it need to be a special board meeting? No.
I think we did
Yeah.
hold a special board meeting. We opened it in public because nobody was here, but it was open to the public. And then they adjourned to executive session immediately for that interview.
If the entire board is gonna introduce somebody, that's typically the way.
yes, yeah. I think Robert was referring to when we had like,
The board.
yeah, before where we had public. Invited it with faculty if they want to come and administrate.
Well, yes, but as we got to the last part, then we did have a special board meeting discussed.
That day or the
No,
last,
no, the day that we picked.
after,
The last
At
part
the
of
last-
each candidate's.
okay,
When the
okay.
actual board
I'm with
interview
you.
took place.
Right.
And that has to be done all to regulations and rules. Yes, yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything I'm leaving out? Anybody?
Does that give you the direction you need to?
So I,
move forward?
correct me here and then I'm gonna try to capture everything that you said.
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to close accept applications through the 22nd. Somewhere around the 23rd, you're going to get a complete file or link from me that has all of the application materials from every candidate. Then you will respond to only me, not to everybody, to only me with your top picks and the candidates that you think are definite no's. I need direction on how many. I think last time we tallied, they might have given their top 5 or 8 or whatever, and we tallied and decided who got the 6 most tallies. And that's how they decided to.
The top 6.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe it will be more clear cut once we have your feedback back.
I think you need to make a tally.
Yeah. How many do you want references on?
You could set a range if you want to.
I was gonna say, it kind of depends on what the applicants look like.
Sure.
But I would say if we send you information back and there's, I wouldn't do more than 10 reference checks on more than 10, certainly. I mean, that's just a random number kind of coming out of my head, but certainly we can narrow it down that far.
That's a third
Yeah,
of the 30 that.
that does sound reasonable. If we can't then figure out of that top 10, then yeah, we might, that should be pretty straightforward.
If it looks like that's not gonna match up, then what you need to do is get back with them and say, y'all, we need to make some decisions here, so then we can get that together at a board meeting and decide how to proceed, but I don't know how it happened that way.
This is a large pool of candidates from when I've been on the selection committees. Robert and I go back a long ways, and I think if we had 6 or 7, we thought we were doing great. There's a time or two there. We had narrowed it down to 4, but we interviewed those separately, and yeah, so I'm surprised we have this many, but that's good. That's great.
So after I check references, I'll compile all of that in a document and then probably send you that each of those top candidates materials again along with their reference material. I don't know, I'll make it easy, organized, to go through. And then you'll have your responses back to me by the 6th. Between the 6th and I don't know, somewhere a week. After that, I'll put all of the reference material back together to you. I know I just said that a minute ago, but I was reaffirming the timeline in my mind. Then at the board meeting on the 19th, you guys can collectively get together and decide how you get from the pile that we've checked references on to a pile that we're going to bring to campus.
And I'm sure we're gonna have questions, so.
Not me.
You got it.
Okay,
Okay.
does that sound okay with everybody?
Is there a rubric form or something that you have that we can use to kind of start working through these?
Yeah, oh, I'm glad you said that, Brian. What's most helpful before you even start to dig into them is to decide what you're looking for, what qualities, characteristics, experience, what boxes do you need those candidates to check?
Didn't you send us some?
I did.
I thought so, yes.
I did,
Like specifications or qualifications or,
And as I read through those, I didn't have any argument with any of them.
yeah, they were
I mean,
pretty,
that seemed to pretty well fit my thoughts today.
they were pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought we got something like that. Okay,
okay,
does that answer your question?
I
Sort
think
of.
so.
do you have that? Do you want me to send it to you?
I have it. I have what you sent us last time.
Okay,
When'd you send that?
that's what I'm looking for right now.
it's, I saw it, but I, that's coordinating in this.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's-
I may have it in my emails. I get a lot of emails.
427.
Would you do it again?
I would be happy to.
Perfect. Okay. Anything else? Moving on, administrative report, Julie?
Sure. Sorry, I didn't get you a written. Put a report in the packet, but some of the things that we're working on, the business office, of course, as we talked about before the meeting began, year end. And you were giving me a bad time about winding down or winding up, so it's year end and budget and that type of thing. We're reviewing and mailing student statements for this past semester, for those that still owe balances. This will make our 3rd mailing to them of balances due, so we'll see how that goes from this point. Also, next month you will get property insurance from me to begin to review, because that is due. We have the proposals and information out for the insurance company to come back with a quote for that. As far as financial aid, we're reviewing all the financial aid awards for all the students, making sure they've all posted, everything's as it should be. And we're in pretty good shape. We'll do a little review this week and make sure everything's good before we send out statements. The bookstore, they're still have students returning books that were on scholarship. That'll probably finish up this week, and then we're shipping out stuff. If you was over there today, it's stacked about yay high in front of the windows where we were shipping out student belongings to via FedEx to go home.
Now, what do you mean by that?
The students package up their stuff, personal stuff, that particularly I would say those that are flying home,
Oh, okay.
they package up personal belongings, and so they will have 2 or 3 boxes that they ship home that they cannot get on an airline
Okay,
or
all right, thank you.
bus or whatever. IT, they're working, this summer, they will be working on refreshing a couple of computer labs and some other projects they have going. They did a great job, as far as I know, managing graduations and everything like that this past week, and banquets, so that was a good thing for them. They have a Zoom room, I believe they'll be working on getting that up and going this summer and some other projects. And then maintenance, they're your normal things, they're mowing yard when it's not wet. And the yard looked nice for graduation and flowers and looked nice and some repairs around campus. They've I don't know if Luke's gonna talk about it or not, but they've done some remodeling in the gym and getting it ready for the gym floor to be laid and paint, that type of thing, so. They've been kept plenty busy and will always probably be busy, but that's kind of where they're at. They're getting ready for dorm clean, summer maintenance, that type of thing.
Okay.
Any questions?
Apartments done? For the apartments done?
I know the top two are, I'm not sure about the bottom two. I haven't heard anything on that. And I haven't received a final bill, so I would assume they're not quite done.
That's a good indicator.
That's probably, yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Luke?
Softball just finished up. They won 30 games this year. They went from 12 to 30. So they had a great first time in the postseason since 2009. So they did really well. Baseball starts Wednesday at 10 a.m. in Wichita State. We'll be playing Butler, which will be good. It'll be a good matchup for us. Track is going to nationals in Hobbs, New Mexico. They have 38 people that made nationals. So we're doing really well on that. Dames is number one in like everything. She's really good. And then flag football is going to Atlanta for nationals as well, which is kind of exciting. It's the first JUCO national that they're doing. Julie hit on the gym. We're getting all the tin is up on the roof. So you can't see insulation anymore. Tape, it looks good. We got lights coming in at the end of the week or the beginning of next week. So it'll be really lit in there. And then the floor is going in June 1st. So we're looking pretty good.
I was there about a week ago.
Mhm.
And I remember the mess they had previously with the floor.
Mhm.
And that didn't resurface.
No, it did not resurface. So we got, knock on wood, nothing's resurfaced.
We're pretty nervous.
Yeah, well, I was real nervous.
Then we're finishing up, moving people out. We got, people moving out this week and probably the beginning of next week as well, just because track won't be done and baseball won't be done until Sunday. So everyone should be out by next week.
Okay, thank you.
I did include a report in your agendas, and so if you guys have any questions in any of that, I'll be happy to answer them. The only thing I did not put in there, and Robert reminded me, is we did have a special graduation ceremony for the softball team. It was last Thursday up at the field, and it went very well. And I think the students and their families certainly were very appreciative of that, because they had graduation gowns and thought they were going to be able to walk until they were too good on the field and weren't going to be able to make graduation. So we had a special ceremony, and it went really well. Graduations all went very well. Things worked pretty much without a hitch, and thanks to Courtney in our registrar's office for putting a lot of that together. Maintenance and IT, very busy with graduations and special meetings and receptions and all of that. It gets to be a very busy time of year for a lot of different areas on campus, and then all the kids leave. So they're just about all out, moved home, and we're looking forward to getting them back, because it sure does get quiet around here during the summers. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you guys have any.
Graduation was very nice, and the reception in between also very nice. It was fun.
Yeah, we'll see. The streets, and then sir.
Oh, Luke Hill Street signs updates.
We got them, we're getting them ordered. I got them all designed. We're getting them ordered. It'll look nice. It'll be nice and big. Everyone can see it.
What is this now?
Hill Street, the weight room.
Will
big
they,
gym.
you're on top of that, on the building?
Yeah, I'll be on the building. I got, yeah, I'll
Okay.
get some signs.
Oh, understood.
Yes.
I look for it every time I do.
We'll get it.
It's my turn. I apologize, I don't have a written report this month. I have no good excuse why, but I just do not. Like Dave said, I thought we had an amazing graduation. It's so much fun to see the students, you know, walk across the stage and achieve their goals, and it's incredibly rewarding. Of course, thank you to the faculty and staff that are, you know, critical to the success of those students, and of course, thank you to the students themselves. It makes what we do worthwhile. It makes what we do matter, and like I said, it's by far the funnest thing I think we do is to watch those kids succeed. We had 2 honorees besides our outstanding sophomore, but Greg King was our outstanding alumni, and he spoke and had a wonderful message and just did a really, really nice job. He spoke at the noon graduation, and then Bill Rhodes was our honorary associate degree, and he also did just a fantastic job, gave a really nice message to the students, and that was at the 9 o'clock graduation. But again, just thank you to everybody. It's a lot of work to put on those graduations, and it really was nice. Like they said, we've still got a lot of things happening on campus as we move forward. I can tell you that to me, it looks like recruiting in all areas is going well. I know we've got a lot of kids in for meets, a lot of kids in for livestock, for some of our different activities. One of the areas that we definitely need to work on, of course, is music and fine arts. And so that our music instructor has resigned. He got a different job. So that puts us on the back burner again there. But hopefully we'll be able to appropriately fill that position. We do have some other open positions, of course, that we're looking to fill. We're looking to fill a couple of nursing positions. We have HVAC, Chris Starrett, one of our longtime trades instructors, is retiring. And he just did an amazing job. And so he will be a very difficult one to replace. So we're looking for that. When you look at our CTE programs, our career executive programs, we do sometimes have a difficult time finding people that are willing to do that, because typically they can go into the trade, into industry, and make a lot more money than they can actually teaching. And that's probably why they went into it anyways. That's kind of what their passion was. So, but I know we'll be successful there in terms of being able to find a good qualified candidate to do that. The only other thing, we're moving forward with a few things. Chris Mingarelli is not here tonight. We will bring CDL training up here for Uniontown, as well as some of the Fort Scott high school. Somebody needs to move around back there. You're not hot enough back there. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, so he will be training, I think, 11 school bus drivers between Fort Scott High School and Union High School. Mingarelli will come up and do that. We're also we're going to hire another full-time CDL instructor, which will be here in Fort Scott. So anybody in this area can also do all their trucking and stuff right here. So we're excited about that. That program is moving forward and doing well. And Chris Mingarelli and Michael, is it Cook? No, what's his name, Michael? Sorry, I can't think of our CDL instructor's last name.
You hadn't looked right at me and said, Michael,
Both of them are doing a very, very nice job, making sure that that program is up and running. We've already got several people trained up there. The only other thing I have is I did speak with somebody that will speak with the feds, and it looks like we may get some more money on our farm workers, our migrant farm workers. So we may house all of IMAC, federal IMAC funds here, so. I don't know that it will happen, but it looks very positive as of this morning, but you never know, sometimes people don't get hopeful. So,
Nothing wrong with it.
oh, and other than that, it's just been budget. Trying to get budget. I'd be happy to stand for questions.
If there are none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.